Next is exhibition. What is exhibition? Exhibition, perhaps you know the name. Maybe you have organized exhibition, or maybe you have gone through the exhibition. Maybe you have visited exhibition. Is it what it is? Nothing but it's a presentation or dissemination of exhibit the education materials. Okay, so it is a mass education method because you see in the exhibition, so many people can visualize it, so many people can visit and go through all the materials. This is a combination of different methods and materials. So many methods may be there. Small group discussion, demonstrations, okay, clipping, videos, at the same time, dissemination of different types of material. Social and demographic factors can be addressed because you see, when you organize any exhibition, according to the culture, we prepare the exhibit, especially about the patterns, about beats, all things. So we consider the social and demographic factors also. And last one is it is more and more effective. Now, just one definition is there. Exhibition is the systematic and meaningful display. Systematic and meaningful display of educational material correlated around a basic theme with an intention to educate a large number of people within a limited period of time, particular place. Is it? This is exhibition. So what is that? It's a display of educational material correlated around one theme will be on the basis of this theme. We disseminate so many materials. Okay. What for? To educate a large number of people because so many number of too many number of people used to visit the exhibition within a limited period, maybe for 1 day, maybe for 2 hours, maybe for 3 hours, and within limited space place, in one place we organize the exhibition. That is the definition. Now, prerequisites of the planning. When we are planning to organize an exhibition, what we should do, what we should think, okay, what materials we have to organize, what we will think, how we will convey it. First is the questions will arise in our mind. When it will be organized, আমি কখন organize করব. Next one, where it will be organized, কোথায় organize করা হবে, how it will be organized, who will organize it, what will the cost involved, what will the content of the theme, what will the content of the messages, what will the content of the different materials, and who will be our audience. According to the audience, we have to prepare our. Now, before planning any exhibition, what things we do consider? Number one, materials. What materials we have to procure, what materials we have to display, what materials we have to disseminate, that we have to think. So you should know the different types of materials also, because what I told you, that exhibition means display of different types of educational materials. One is posters. We can disseminate so many posters. Now perhaps everybody know what is posters? Can anybody tell me what is poster? Size is like this. What is the size? There is no hard and fast rule about the size of the posters. But usually the standard size is 60 centimeter by 90 centimeter. Okay? 2 feet by 3 feet. Here is 2 feet, here is 3 feet. That is standard size of a poster. Now, how many components or parts of a poster are there? There are 4 parts of a poster. First one is caption. One bold letter caption means title will be there. One caption will be there. Okay. Then one message will be there. No, so many messages. One message. Maybe more than one, but very rare it happens. In ideal posters, there must be one caption, catchy caption, bold letters, minimum 1 inch width, and then one message, and then one symbol or picture, and third one is a logo. So there are 4 components of a poster. What I told you: caption, message, then symbol or picture, and last one is logo. Clear? Okay. Then chart. Charts means so many message will be there along with so many pictures. Okay. Perhaps you know the flip charts. দেখেছো? Calendar দেখেছো? Calendar. So 12 pages calendar like this. That is called flip chart. So single page is chart. Graph. Leaflet. Definitely you know leaflet. What is leaflet? Size. कितना पेज है? कौटा पेज तक बे? Leaflet. How many pages will be there in leaflet? কটা পেজ থাকবে? How many pages? Leaflet. Everybody has gone through it. Everybody read it. How many pages? Leaflet. Hello, my friend. How many pages? Leaflet. কটা পাতা থাকবে? Good. Only single page. Maybe one-sided, maybe back-side. Leaflet. Pamphlet. कितना पेज? Pamphlet. পড়েছো, দেখেছো, হাতে নিয়েছো, ব্রোশিওরও নিয়েছো। Pamphlet minimum 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, okay, or more than 4 pages, maybe 10, 12 with teaching. That is called pamphlet. Then models, miniature forms, specimen, same thing, etc. So we have to consider about the material. Then what things we have to consider about the budget? How much cost will be involved in an exhibition, and what are the source of the fund that we have to consider before organizing any exhibition for displaying educational materials for educating people. Then skills that will be required, trained and skilled personnel for demonstrating the exhibition. Then production facilities, who will prepare the material, or from where we can procure the material, because you see, you yourself may produce the materials, but you may not be able to produce the materials. You can give the idea, the artist can prepare the materials, or you may have to procure the materials from different sources. That you have to think what will be the sources from where you are going to procure this material. Then after that, you have to think about the construction of booth. কোথায় exhibition হবে? You have to construct the booth, floor covering and fencing. Then entrance and exit, 2 doors must be there. One is entrance, another is for exit. Then proper ventilation must be there. Then what are the furnitures that you have to arrange? Next, how to organize the exhibition. The organization of the exhibition. Selection of materials for display. You have to select the material for display. Systematic, I told you, systematic display materials. Okay, so you have to select the materials which will be displayed or disseminated. In the back side, small, in the pencil, small, like 1, 2, 3, 4 sequence. You have to mark it. প্রথমে এটা রাখবো, তারপর এটা দেবো, তারপর এটা দেবো. So 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. Jot down the number in the back side of the each and every material. Then arrange and display exhibits in logical and sequential way at eye level. It will display at eye level. Provision of physical facilities of lighting, tables, chairs, racks, etc. that we have to think. And then provision of interpreters. Though most of the materials are self-explanatory, still there is a need to demonstrate. For the reason, you have to think about the demonstrator. Who will be the person who can demonstrate the material. Next, during exhibition, what to do during the exhibition? First, welcome. Well, reception of the audience. Please come. Reception of the audience. Then you have to arrange volunteers who will guide the audience. Next, demonstrating and explaining the exhibits using local verbatim. Your materials may be, few materials may be in English, but maximum materials should be in local languages. When you will try to explain the materials, you have to use local verbatim. Local verbatim means যে ভাষা, যে কথ্য word, the word that they use, you have to use this word only. Then they can understand. Then they can feel, yes, it is for us. Then only question comes about change of behavior. Explain the exhibits until the audience are satisfied. You have to explain the exhibits until they are satisfied. Involve sufficient number of demonstrators. And next, after exhibition, what you have to do, what you can do, observe the reaction of the audience. When they will go through the exhibit, you, as the organizer, you have to watch the audience, what about their attitudes. Okay, if they are satisfied, face indicates. analyze the record book to be kept on the table for the comments of the audience. When they will go out, that is in the door, before the, in front of the door of the exit, you have to keep one record book where they can pass their comments. Okay, so from the record book you can analyze. Dismantle the displays. Once exhibition will over, you have to dismantle or you have to put it out from the wall, and then you have to keep it in a sequential way so that next in the next session you can be able to use the material. Okay, if possible or feasible or doable, what you have to do, you may conduct informal survey for evaluating the effectiveness of the exhibition. When they are visiting their exhibition, they may be from nearby communities, so you may have the scope, you can conduct an informal survey to the exhibit, to the viewers, for knowing the effectiveness of your exhibition. Now advantage and disadvantage. Advantage. One of the best way to reach illiterate people in the exhibition. Mainly visual materials are there, so there is a scope for each and every illiterate people. They can go through it, they can understand the meaning. At the same time, to make them understand, the demonstrators are there, they can explain it. So it is best way to reach the illiterate people, provide better learning through varieties of experiences like hearing. They can hear because audiovisual aids are there. They can see exhibition, they can touch, they can feel, they can taste. Sometimes models are there. Okay, say food models are there, they can taste it also. So they can have the opportunity to hear, to see, to touch, to feel, at the same time to taste. Opportunity may be provided for practical learning through demonstration. Interesting and attractive because of decoration, good settings, and other lively displays. Help students to develop creativity, and also organizing exhibitions can help you learn new knowledge and skills. Each and every method has advantage also, few disadvantages must be there. Difficult to organize in terms of money, materials and manpower, all these things that will be required, it may be difficult to procure all these things. Difficult to organize, to suit different kinds of people with different needs, background, interests, etc. Because you see, what the exhibition correlate around a basic theme, okay? And though you know who will be your visitor, who will be your observer, still you see it is very difficult. The audience may be from different background, from different educational background, different cultures also. So it is difficult to organize the suit to suit different kinds of people with different needs, background, interests, etc. Difficult to get appropriate place sometimes. Adjust to available time due to lack of resources, unfavorable weather, etc. Conclusion. Pleasant behavior with the audience. That must be. Maintain a record book for comments of the audience. So this is about the exhibition. Now group method. First method, panel discussion. Perhaps you know the terminology panel. Panel means a list of name of the person. That is called panel. So, like this here also. What it is an educational method where a small group of 4 to 6 or 8 here. Modern will be here, and in left side few resource person or panelists will be there. In the right side few panelists will be there. So it is an educational method where a small group of 4 to 6 or sometimes up to 8 persons get around the table in the presence of the audience and discuss among themselves the topics or the subject which is relevant to the audience, and in which the panelists or the resource persons or the panel members have specialized knowledge. Clear? Here this is the table. Moderator will be there, and in one side few panel members are there, usually in the even number. Okay, either 3 there, or in the right side 3 or 4, whatever may be according to the situation. Okay, and they will discuss among themselves. They will discuss among themselves. One person will ask questions to the others, another person, panelist, answer their his or her question in the presence of the audience. It is a to and fro discussion among the panel members. To and fro discussion among the panel members, touching almost all aspects of the topic, and the audience appears the same by listening. Okay, this is to and fro discussion among the panelists. Okay, there will be no interchange or exchange of knowledge or speech between the panel member and the audience. No, audience cannot interfere. They will discuss among themselves. You as a listener or audience, you can listen carefully. When it should be organized, কখন এটা অর্গানাইজ করব প্যানেল discussion as a method of health education for changing the health behavior of the people. It should be organized when the topic is large. Say for example, family planning, large topic, or malaria, large topic. Okay, we can organize a panel discussion among these topics regarding these topics, either family planning or malaria or fileria or HIV/AIDS or non-communicable diseases like this. Topics is large, complicated, and need clarification from different angles. When a group of experts are available, during that time we can organize panel discussion. Now, what I told you, with the help of the schematic, okay, I would like to show you personnel involved on the structure. In the middle, moderator is there. In the left side, 1, 2, 3, 4 panel members are there. The right side, 5, 6, 7, 8 panel members are there. Okay. So what will happen in the panel discussion? This is the ideal panel discussion session. Moderator will introduce all the panelists to the audience. Then moderator will brief about the topics to the audience. Then the panel members start the panel discussion session in the front of the audience. Here you see in this sketch 2 to 8. Second panelist asks questions relevant to the topics in front of the audience to the panelist of number 8. 8 will answer the question. Again, 6 panelists ask questions to the 4 panelists, 4 number panelists. Like this it will be going on. Okay, vice versa. Left side ask questions to the right side people. Right side people give the answers at the same time. Again, right side people will ask the questions to the left side people. In this way it will be going on until and unless the topic is covered or the time is over. Okay, is it clear? Moderator will not interfere, but yes, if there is a hot thought, if there is a strong argument between this left side panelist with the right side panelist, then moderator must interfere and settle the matter. Is it clear? This is panel discussion. Prerequisite of the panel discussion, definitely arrangement of the room like this. Okay, inviting the moderator and panelists well in advance, highlighting the topics, date, time, venue, etc. Now, patterns of communication. This is two-way or one-way. I told you, Socratic or didactic. Okay, one way or two way. Is it one way or panel discussion? One way or two way? One way or two way? বুঝতে পারোনি? One way, definitely it's one way, because you see the audience cannot interact. It is one way. No opportunity of the audience to ask questions during the discussion. Usually, at the end of the session, it is converted to forum. During that time, the panel discussion forum, audience are allowed to ask questions for doubt. Okay, so panel discussion forum. Sometimes it's short, we call panel discussion and panel forum. When it will be converted, usually at the end of the session, it is converted to panel discussion forum. So during that time, the audience are allowed to ask questions for their clarification, doubt clarification. Advantages: to present the topic subject by different members actively and dramatically they are discussing. Okay, provide varied knowledge, ideas and experiences about the subject of the concern to the audience or learners, to get different facts and points of view brought into the discussion framework. Interesting and can draw attention of the audience or learners. Learners can get the opportunity to ask questions at the end and pass comments, which help in teaching learning process at the time of panel forum. Disadvantage. Sometimes it is difficult to get the appropriate experts who can discuss among themselves. Very difficult because we require more than 4, at least 6, 8 persons we require at the same time one moderator. Difficult to set definite time to shoot the another health tourism method that is very interesting and very important to change the behavior of the community, especially. It is the modification of the panel discussion. Just modification of the panel discussion. It is useful when audience are mainly influenced by the opinion leaders and when there are specific problems to be discussed for solution. So here, two words are there: opinion leaders. Can you know what the opinion leaders? Especially, it is useful when the audience are mainly influenced by opinion leaders. Opinion leader means the leaders who are in the community whose opinions are valued. যার কথা লোকে শোনে, তার কথার দ্বারা যদি ইনফ্লুয়েন্স হয়, if the people are influenced by the words of the opinion leaders, in that case we used to organize colloquy sessions for changing the health behavior of the community. It's a two-way, always two-way communication because audience representatives are participating here. Personally involved, moderator must be there in the middle, resource persons in one side, resource persons will be there, and the other side, audience or audience representatives will be there. This is the personal involved. Majkhane, in the middle, moderator will be there in panel discussions. In the left side and right side, both sides, panelists are there. But here, in one side, audience representatives will be there, and other side, resource persons will be there. Okay? In the colloquy, what will happen? In what has happened in the case of panel discussions, the both sides were allowed to ask questions, either left side to right side or right side to left side, and vice versa. But in case of colloquy, only the audience representatives will be allowed to ask questions to the resource persons. Resource persons are not allowed to ask any question to the audience representatives. And as audience representatives are representing or participating, that's why it is always two-way communication. It is very fruitful because you see, as the audience representatives are from the audience, so they very well know the problems of the audience, and on behalf of the audience, they ask the questions to the audience representatives. Advantages: direct audience representation, audience participations are there. It's a problem solving method. When the problem has been arisen by the audience representative, so it is just first who can answer the question. In this way, the problem may be solved. No inhibition, as representatives are in the dais. Very effective for solving the problems by mutual consideration. Then disadvantage: skillful resource persons may not be available sometimes. Expert moderators may not be available always. Audience representatives may sometimes feel shy as they have to ask questions to the specialized experts. Okay, that's all for today. Okay, 2 minutes more. Any questions for clarification? What I discussed, any questions? Can I recapitulate what I told you? What is health education? That I told you. What is health education? That I told you. And different methods of health education. 3 approaches I told you: individual, group, and mass. Then I discussed only mass methods. 2 I have discussed. Okay, one is speech or lecture, another is exhibition. And then group methods, what discussed? I discussed only 2. One is panel discussion, and next one is colloquy. Okay, so that is all about today's discussion. So any questions?
Going to start a very important class. This is most important medical legal aspects. That means it's very, very important. As you know, first I thought actually I shall discuss it elaborately. But anyway, with this attendance and your attentions, it discourages me. But actually I am not habituated to this. I used to speak to the 250 students. Still 150 students, only 20 students. Anyway, as you need these things, I actually concised it. It was actually meant for the judges training. So, what I said to the judges, I want to speak to you because actually it was concise. Many of the medical aspects has been actually omitted or the deleted. So, what I said to the judges, just recent concluded, what I said to the judges, I want to just tell you the things. These are very important things. How the age determination is done. Just as you know, first of all, this is what is age? Very simple questions, but most difficult to answer. Even recently concluded examination, second prop, third prop, part one examination, what I asked, 90% students actually could not answer in their final examinations. So what is age? So age of an individual is the number of days an individual has lived after birth, or it is the time elapsed since birth. That means simple. After birth, the time is counted. This is most actually appropriate. It is also actual age or chronological age. Age is chronological age. Age is of different form that I shall discuss. And simply counted from the time of birth. Time of birth is the only point for consideration, for determination of chronological age. Normally, what we know this chronological age is actual age means chronological age. It is actually time since birth. Age of an individual is correct and undisputed when the correct death certificate is birth certificate is available. That is the main problems. That's why these days many authorities they actually mandated the biological age determination because of these problems. Because the birth certificate is many times missing. But very few attendants. Still, I do not count these things. Simple, you must know first actually while you attend classes, the courtesy in the classroom. I have been here in this field for like 35 years. So, all medical colleges I have seen. So, every student must know the courtesy in the classroom. So, I warn you girl and boy also, I do not know how good you are in your academic field, but here you must be attentive. You must behave properly in the classroom. Anyway. Another form of age is simply what we actually going to discuss, estimations of the age, that is biological age, it is the developmental age, or the particular subject based on the developmental age. When the main problem is this. Another is mental age, because you know these things, psychological age, many times, even the persons age 25 years, 30 years, 60 years, but that person behaves like a 7 years child. That happens, and that is very important. This determination of the mental age in criminal offences, so also in civil cases, inheritance of the property, in other cases, it is important. So all these things, the chronological age, biological age, mental age, all these different forms is important from the medical legal aspects. So, what I said is the chronological age of a person. That is, a person's age is since birth. But there was age, that is medical legal is very important, that is in the womb. Because actually life starts, so-called biological life starts with the zygote formation. So the zygote formation, so that is the intrauterine age. And that is important. You will have to assess that age in many cases, many cases. So that intrauterine age, extrauterine age. But thing is this, ordinarily age of the subjects mean it is extrauterine age. Naturally, what you perceive from this particular thing, the age is chronological age, biological. But sometimes in cases of the fetal death or abortion, estimations of the intrauterine age may be required. Yes, many cases. The so-called Shishupajat recently got a appeared in the Bosirhat court. The four doctors behind the bar for 6 years for the same child lifting case or the things actually child trafficking case. So there actually we need to mention these things. Estimation of age, when it is required, why it is important? I told you these things because chronological age, since you have a birth certificate, it's no problem. As while you actually going to admit your child or just yourself admit in the schools, they require one certificate, that is birth certificate. It's available, the birth registers, they will issue the certificate. If it's available, if it's correct, then there is no questions, no dispute. But many times, for many reasons, these forged, fabricated, or maybe missing, and that happens. That's why they make invention. So naturally, we need to assess the biological age or developmental age. So when birth proof certificate is not available, it is not possible. When another cases, intrauterine cases, LMP means last menstrual period, because actually intrauterine age is assessed from the LMP till ADT. But actually we are not discussing there actually in that scenario. Why it is important to know? Age is very important in law, because I am again these things. What I said to the judges, judges means recently they are going to be district judge. I am actually telling you because say the most of the medical aspects has been actually here this deleted. So you must know these things. I told them, so they learned it. So they will ask you the same questions what they learned. So this is important. I am telling you this. Age in the living, in the dead. দুটোতেই হয় কারণ ডেটে তো ন্যাচুরালি in this cases sometimes you have to assess because of these things how we assess the date age of the person, because identification, age is a very important data of identification. Other identifications, age, sex, stature. Stature, you know this thing. What is stature? Stature is simply length or height of a person. Other common situations, that is the thing, other common situations where age determination frequently asked for, এই একটা জায়গাতে এখনো পর্যন্ত they send the boys and girls, particularly the age group wise, in swimming, boxing, football, badminton, anywhere these side groups actually they used to send all their boys and girls every time. All the boys actually, since so long actually I was in medical college, NRS medical college or Arjikar college, they send these things actually in batches. It is a mandatory there. Because you cannot participate in Olympic, you cannot participate in any world group, probably you know these things. Under 17s football, what organized here, that time also these things, it was mandatory to determine the biological age because of these problems. Most of the times, either these things, footballers or the players, they come from a very poor family. Most of the cases, these successful and the very things, poor family. They do not know the importance of the birth certificate, and many cases also they are fabricated or forged. So it was actually mandatory to determine the biological age. What is in these cases, that is developmental age. What actually the estimation of the age, that is very important. The sports almost mandatory. And another thing, now actually in my opinion, the retirement service, earlier they said these things, they refused to retire, even they attain the retirement age. Actually, which is a tramwage company and other companies, that time they recruited the persons, they say these things, no, I have these things, my birth certificate is lost, I am just 50 years, 52 years. But actually, he passed the retirement age. So they send the persons to the medical colleges and all these things for assessment of the age, whether he actually attained the retirement age. That is important, but that is very vague and bogus. But the sports authority, when they come age group wise, they is very important. Age determination is অনেকগুলো পদ্ধতি আছে. When the age determination, that was biological age determination can be accurate, naturally. First is early age. Early age means very baby or child. Then child, adolescence, before actually attaining the adulthood, then adult, and the next phase, the latter age, is the most problematic biological age to determine. So up to the adult in our sense, we shall discuss these things. What is adult? Again the question. I already asked you what is age. Questions, who is adult? Another problem. The age, extrauterine age of an individual, especially in earlier years, can be determined from dentations. Most important. Probably you know. I do not know now you are past that age. In the train journey, still probably it is able to half ticket. Have you know? Have you ever learned these things? Half ticket in the train? I do not know whether you travel in the train. That is 11 years. Up to 11 years, they issue the half price ticket. So that is the things actually how the 11 years is determined. And ossification of the bones. So this tells this thing is important in law, in the code, and the police. They know this as determination as ossification test. So remember this word, ossification test. Most of the times they said these things, ossification test. Actually, it is the estimations of the biological age. So, two things is very important: dentition, that means eruption of the teeth, ossification. And again, I am telling you these things. Most of these things actually you will learn again in practical class. The practical class in forensic medicine is very, very, very important because without attending practical class hands-on, you cannot learn the things. So just like swimming and your anything cycling, you must practice it. So that actually you can know. Because you have to, as a doctor, you have to perform all this legal duty. Otherwise, nobody will answer. You are only responsible for your opinion. So you must learn. And then there is secondary sex characters. Secondary sex characters, as you know these things, definitely with the age, there is change of the secondary sex characters. In the girls is different, in the boys is different, and that is important. And what is, that is actually, we call these things, just a gross, definitely, is important. And general development in case of the children, that is another parameter. So there. Age determination, খুব একটা বেশি ডিসকাস করব না, probably pediatrics, you will also learn these things. Changes in umbilical cord, height, weight, closure of front legs. But you must know these things. What are the parameters? How we assess the age? Because it is a very important thing in the development of the child. That is pediatrics, it is important. So in law it is important. So you must think what are the things actually considered to this person. There is early age, it is most important. It is most important because this age, early age, this child age, and other age, actually, this biological age can be determined most accurately. Birth weight, how birth weight actually changes, how height changes from there, height of the child at the newborn side, then the weight and how it changes from there, we can assess the child age. Then there is another pediatrics I am not discussing. Adolescence, another age is most important, particularly in sexual offense cases. This adolescent age or below the adult is very important. We often required to assess these things here. Police particularly brings these cases here. So how these things, appearance of the secondary sex characters, that means eruption of the particularly beard mustache, and there is actually developmental of the breasts in the girls, and naturally the menarche, axillary key, puerche, these three things actually is very important. The important sexual characters, secondary sex characters, what develops and changes with the ages. So that is important. And developmental of the bone, again this ossification in law. Here, this ossification is considered is a very important thing. So they call it again ossification test. Earlier adult, how we determine age? These things. Who is an adult? So again, these questions, this is confusing. Even judges could not answer. Then when we ask these things, there are the very senior judges actually. When I go there, actually, I started from the magistrate level. Magistrate means actually junior most judicial officer. In court, magistrate, first class magistrate, second class. Probably you attended the class. Have you got judicial systems in our Indian judiciary systems? Huh? How it starts? Very important these things, because as a doctor you must know these things, medical jurisprudence, otherwise you will be in deep trouble. You cannot practice. You cannot practice. Whatever you learn, you cannot practice. So these things actually the magistrate, first class magistrate, second class magistrate, then question is session judges, the assistant session judge, and the additional session judge and district session judge. So naturally in these cases, so here it is important. They should know adult, because most of the question, legal questions is adult. Yes, adult meaning is different in law and in biology. You must know it. What is biology? To us, it is the physical and physiological maturity of a person. And we try to elicit that thing, physical and physiological. And to law, same. That is, all these things, 18 years. 18 years is the adulthood. And that is same for the boys and same for the girls. That cannot. That should not be. Because the girls are at least 1 to 2 years advanced to the boy. This concept is absolutely wrong. I told also to the judges, you think actually the girls also 18 years adult and the boy also 18 years adult. How that can be? Because maturity comes, the girls much earlier, 1 to 2 years, at least 1 to 2 years earlier. They cannot be same at the same age. So these perceptions, particularly the law, is sometimes, yes, there are big problems also. So it is important, it is different in male and female, and that thing, that information, probably you learn these things. The boys' ossification age, again these things closes 1 to 2 years earlier to the boys. That information is very paramount important. Adult. Ossification सब cartilage and future secondary चाहिए. Just to see how it's actually different. Estimation of age ordinarily means determinations of the biological or developmental age. So this age concept, estimation of age ordinarily means determination of the biological or developmental age. आगे बोलेছিলাম chronological age. And these things, what we actually discuss, what we learn in the practical class, what we learn in the medical. So naturally these things, forensic medicine is actually the medical aspects of the law. Law, when requires the medical knowledge, they ask us these things, they get these things. So medical aspects. So you must have the medical knowledge properly to explain all these things. Estimation of the extent of biological age can be done fairly accurately from calcification of the teeth, dentition and bone. Estimated age is more consistent with chronological age in child. যত কম বয়স হবে তত we correctly estimate the age as it's a chronological. 7 বছর তো আমরা 7 বছরই বলবো, 5 বছর তো 5 বছর. Actually these things, without seeing these things, we can determine most accurately as earlier ages. But actually it grows and past the adult, it will be a cross. There will be range, will be high. So chronological age, no dispute. Chronological, no dispute. But one important thing, birth certificate must be there. And that is the correct, accurate birth certificate must be there. Strangely, most of the times, even for the sports reasons, I know this thing, Dr. Capro, they fabricated their son's thing only to actually participate in the swimming competition in the age group. I do not know. There are a different kind of interest and mentality. That's why they forged this birth certificate for no reasons. And other things actually to get into the schools, which actually there is age schools, past 7 years, but they want to put their sons in the particular school, and so naturally they forged the birth certificate. So that happens. So in that cases, the biological age determination becomes necessary. And it is a medical opinion. Biological age is a medical opinion only. It is not correct because of this biological variations. Again, I am telling these things that this will you learn in your practical class. When you start the bones, all these things. But still, overview all these things. Tooth development, আবারও বলছি, at the age of the things in the womb, the tooth develops the 3rd to 4th intrauterine life. So again, all tooth present at the birth, but not erupted. Tooth gradually from crown, that is crown, neck and root. Crown develops first, ossifies temporary tooth, then gradually that elongates, gradually the calcification of the root and tooth erupts. তাহলে বাইরে আসে, তাকে বলে দাঁত গজানো। এই দাঁত ওঠা থেকে, because of the eruption of the tooth, can we determine almost correctly the age of the baby, development of the baby. And advantages of this tooth is important. These things, with sex there is little variation, with the nutrition little variations, environment little variation. In western country and eastern country, almost the eruption of the tooth almost very similar. So that is the advantage of the tooth. That's why we consider the tooth, eruption of the tooth is very, very important. And after that, naturally, one time tooth eruption ends. What is the last tooth erupts? What is the age? Most of the age? You passed 18 years. So it is 30 years, probably 19 years. I hope the last tooth, you know which tooth actually erupts last? কোন দাঁত পরে লাস্টে বেরোয়? Which molar? Which molar? হ্যাঁ, good. Another name third molar এর কি আছে? বাংলায় কি বলে? আক্কেল দাঁত। আক্কেল দাঁত। And another name wisdom teeth. Very, very appropriately they have given. এই আক্কেল and wisdom both means actually knowledge, practical knowledge. Yes, that is with these eruptions that indicates the person becomes mature. So that is most of the cases third molar eruption occurs 17 years. Remember, don't forget. When if third molar, but it is a very inconsistent teeth. Have this inconsistent. It may not erupt. It may erupt late. And all four quadrants may not erupt. Only one quadrant erupt. But it is present. সেটা কি হয়? ভেতরে থেকে যায়। Impacted tooth or the misdirected tooth. I will show you this thing. So there is an order. Again, you will be taught in the practical class with these bones, jaws, and others with these things. It is everybody's books there. All the forensic books you get, all everywhere gives things. The time of eruptions. There is two types of teeth: temporary teeth, permanent teeth. Temporary teeth or a milk teeth. And milk teeth, the permanent teeth comes out, milk teeth falls. Everybody has the knowledge, even if the baby. From now on, you observe which tooth erupts first and which tooth erupts last. So naturally, that is the thing. Milk tooth, which tooth erupts? They are almost accurate here. This eruption of the milk tooth, the baby's child's birth time age can be determined very accurately, and the development of the child. The milk teeth, first tooth, lower central incisor. Almost all teeth erupt first in the lower jaw. The lower central incisor probably দেখবে যে বাচ্চা প্রথমে দেখবে দুটো দাঁত খরগোশের মতো নিচে থাকে। And that indicates 6 to 7, here you see months. মানে বাচ্চা যখন 6 থেকে 7 মাস হবে তখন এটা বেরোয়। এবং very, very rarely the deviation occurs. এটা কিন্তু সব জায়গাতে same. Even though there is no caste, there is no religion, there is no national race, even almost same. So here, and the last tooth erupts in child is second permanent, second molar, temporary tooth, second molar. থাকে না চাইল্ডের, that is premolar. চাইল্ডের যেটা থাকে না সেটা হচ্ছে premolar. এই জন্য ম্যাক্সিমাম মিল্ক টিথ হচ্ছে, এটা কিন্তু এইগুলো পয়েন্টগুলো নোট করো। ম্যাক্সিমাম মিল্ক টিথ 20 in the mouth, 20. মানে আমি যদি দাঁত গুনে 20 বলি, and the last tooth occurs generally in 2.5 years. চলে তার মানে 2.5 বছরের বেশি বাচ্চার বয়স নয় আমি 20টা যদি দেখে নিই। তো সেই জিনিসটা আছে, তারপরে যদি বেশি হয়, 20টার যদি বেশি হয় পরে হয়, তো ফার্স্ট যদি there is 21 teeth means first erupts permanent first molar, that is 6 to 7 years. That is most important information, always remember. So naturally, if I again the same questions I ask always in the examination, what is the oldest tooth in your mouth? তোমাদের মুখে সবথেকে পুরনো দাঁত কোনটা? Now discussion from the discussion. What is the oldest tooth in your mouth? Hey, can you hear me? সবথেকে পুরনো দাঁত কোনটা মুখে? Your mouth, what is the oldest tooth? What is the youngest tooth? So if you cannot learn from this discussion, you have learned nothing. The thing is, this is the most practical thing and very simple question always asked. At least I ask. What is the youngest tooth means? যেটা সব থেকে পরে বেরিয়েছে। What is the oldest tooth মানে যেটা সব থেকে আগে বেরিয়েছে। তো কোন টুথ সব থেকে আগে বেরিয়েছে তোদের মুখে? কি বললাম এখন? হ্যাঁ? Central incision is the first milk teeth erupts. But your mouth, all are permanent. The first permanent tooth which erupts first, আমি এখনই বললাম, that is the first molar, 67 years. 67 years. First molar is the second 67 years. মানে 20টার বেশি দাঁত মানে একটা পার্মানেন্ট টিথ বেরিয়েছে। That is, সেটা কোনটা? First formula. Very simple. But simple formula, if you can remember, very truth, eruption, very, very important scientific. So you can easily answer all the questions, commonly answer. So naturally, simply counting tooth, counting মুখে গুনে ফেলুন সব কথা। এটা আমাদের কমনলি হয়, সবসময় হয়। তো কাউন্ট করুন, 21টা দাঁত বেরিয়েছে। কারণ অল টুথ ডেফিনেটলি এটা এরকম ঠিক সূর্য ওঠা সূর্য সানসেটের মতো ব্যাপারটা নয়। তো ব্যাপারটা কোনটা আগে হচ্ছে কোনটা পরে, কোনটা 4 মাস আগে কোনটা 6 মাস পরে বেরোয়। তো একটা দাঁত বেরিয়েছে 21টা যদি বেরিয়ে থাকে, দ্যাট ইজ ফার্স্ট পার্মানেন্ট মোলার, দ্যাট ইজ দ্য ওল্ডেস্ট টুথ ইন ইওর মাউথ। কারণ সবার আগে বেরিয়েছে আর বাকি দাঁত তো সব পড়ে গেছে। এইবার সেগুলো কখন বেরোবে? জাস্ট ইউ সি from this chart you can see the central incisors, you see these things at years. Here actually you see this thing 7 to 8 years, actually minded thing 7 8 9 10 just এভাবেই পর ফার্স্ট অ্যাকচুয়ালি না এইভাবে তাহলে হচ্ছে। তাহলে সেন্ট্রাল ইনসিসরটা কিন্তু বাচ্চাদের টেম্পোরারি ফার্স্ট, কিন্তু আমাদের নয়। তাহলে 6 ইয়ার্স টেম্পোরারি, পার্মানেন্ট হচ্ছে অ্যাকচুয়ালি ফার্স্ট molar. আর ওল্ডেস্ট টুথ, ইয়াংগেস্ট টুথ, দ্যাট ইজ দ্য থার্ড মোলার। তার মানে সিম্পল কোশ্চেন, তাহলে ইয়াংগেস্ট টুথ কোনটা, ওল্ডেস্ট টুথ কোনটা, তাহলে জানবে যেটা পরে বেরিয়েছে ইয়াংগেস্ট টুথ। ভেরি ভেরি সিম্পল কোশ্চেন। এজ ক্যান বি ডিটারমিন ফ্রম মিল্ক টিথ। আবার বলছি, মিল্ক টিথ থেকে আমরা বাচ্চার এজ কিন্তু মাস দিয়ে বলতে পারি, এটা 7-8 মাস, 8-9 মাস, 10 মাস এরকম বয়স একদম অ্যাকুরেটলি বলে দেওয়া যায়। কারণ এগুলো কখন আছে, পেটার্নিটি কেস, বাচ্চা হারিয়ে গেছে, বাচ্চা চেঞ্জ হয়ে গেছে, একটা মা আর একটা বাচ্চাকে তার বলছে, এই যে ফ্রিকোয়েন্টলি ইটস হ্যাপেন্স ন্যাচুরালি। তারপর কার বাচ্চাকে তুলে নিয়ে এসে বলছে এটা আমার বাচ্চা, তখন ন্যাচুরালি ইন দ্যাট কেসেস দ্যাট প্রবলেমস বিকামস প্রবলেম। এজ এস্টিমেশন ইজ ভেরি ইম্পর্টেন্ট দ্যাট টাইম। তো কারণ এজটা তাকে মেলাতে হবে, ও যা কমপ্লেন করছি তখন কিন্তু আমাদের এজ দেখে বলতে হবে, শুধু এটা দেখে। ম্যাক্সিমাম এজ আপ টু 25 ইয়ার্স, আমরা দাঁত থেকে 25 বছর শেষ বলতে পারি, কিন্তু সেটা থার্ড মোলার, সেটা রুট ক্যালসিফিকেশন দেখে। জাস্ট দেখো, ভেরি সিম্পল, ইট ইজ এ পেন্টোগ্রাফ, ইটস নট অ্যাভেলেবল অল। If I will get it during your practical class, I shall actually I trying to bring it. So here all the tip, all the jaws, it is very important because it is a permanent record. What we require for the law. Here is just to count the teeth, all teeth count. Simple, ever no central, no anything. Total count করো, তাহলে কত আসছে দেখতে পাচ্ছ, কতগুলো বয়ে আছে। So what is these things? One teeth here, one teeth here. You see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Here again these things 8. The other teeth sometimes a root you do not take as the things. And when you think bone, mandible or maxilla, there sometimes you these things 2 holes. They are not 2 tooths, they are the roots or single tooth, particularly molars. Premolars, molars, 2 roots are there. So naturally সেখানে মনে হবে bones এ দেখলে মনে হবে দুটো দাঁত, না একটা দাঁত। ভেরি ভেরি ইম্পর্টেন্ট। সো ন্যাচুরালি ইন প্র্যাকটিস হয়েছে। তো এইখান থেকে যদি বলতে পারি আমরা অ্যাকচুয়ালি এই দিস টুথ is calcification, but you see whole root is not calcified. Here you see this whole root is calcified. দেখো এই পর্যন্ত টিপ পর্যন্ত চলে এসেছে, টিপ এসেছে এখনই, কিন্তু এটা তাও কিছুটা, এটা এখনো পর্যন্ত কমপ্লিট হয়নি। এটাই ইম্পর্টেন্ট, পরে আমরা সেটা দেখবো একটুতে কমপ্লিট হয়েছে কি হয়নি, এটার উপরে ডিপেন্ড করছে হোয়েদার দ্য পার্সন। Otherwise, it's very important, particularly in a criminal act. It is very, very important in murder cases and other cases. It's very important. আবারও বলছি, আমরা যখন ক্লিনিক্যাল এক্সামিনেশন করব কাউকে, তখন আমরা শুধু দেখতে পাই ইরাপশন এসছে কি আসে। দিস টুথ, this is third molar. If you count these things, this is third molar. It is eighth tooth. This tooth is not yet erupted. মানে দাঁত উপরে ওঠেনি, still it is inside the gum. তাকে আমরা ইরাপশন দেখতে পাবো না, বলতে পারবো না ক্লিনিক্যালি, only by X-ray বলতে পারবো, কারণ it may not erupt, and that is important here. If you count from X-ray, you may count. এইটা এই দেখো, এই রুটই এখনো পর্যন্ত ডেভেলপ করেনি, জাস্ট ক্রাউনটা করেছে। এই রুট আস্তে আস্তে ডেভেলপ করবে, that will come out, that is called eruption, and when it erupts in any quadrants, একটা দাঁত বেরোলো, যখনই 28 এর করে 29 হয়ে যায়, তখনই আমরা বলবো যে একটা দাঁত বেরিয়েছে, তখনই বলবো পারসন কমপ্লিটেড 17 ইয়ার্স, 17 বছর, তার বেশি না, 25-25 এসব বইতে জানি না। Again, I am telling these things, which book I purchased, I do not know. My book is not yet published. So this book, whatever you read, the only one book you read it. Till after edition, it is not a bad book. And another very simple books available here. So J.B. Mukherjee is a big book, but Kormukar is very concise book. You can write for practical purpose, that is good. So I suggest not to read the Gautam Vishas. থেকে দেখবো যে এই যে থার্ড মোলার দাঁত বেরোবে বেরোয়নি, এটা এখানে আছে কি। গুস্তাফসন ক্রাইটেরিয়া তোমরা পরে শিখবে। এজ ফ্রম ডেন্টিশন, অ্যাডভান্টেজেস অ্যান্ড লিমিটেশনস। তো এজ ফ্রম ডেন্টিশনের অ্যাডভান্টেজ লিমিটেশন দেখে নাও, কারণ এআই very good, এটা পড়ে নেবে। You can get these PowerPoints, but anyway, the practice class again you learn. Ultimately, যে জায়গাটায় বলছি ossification test. What is ossification? As the anatomy তো পড়েছো, physiology-ও পড়েছো, you know probably ossification. No, না? বলো তো answer. At birth, babies have already almost 300 bones, but in adult, 206 bones. Where have gone all those bones? Good. Yes. That is ossification, that is fusion, and that is of paramount importance to determine the age, because different centers, ossification centers appears at different times, and they fuses with the main bone at different times. So that table we consider here in Bengal is very, very famous study. Not in the whole world actually, that kind of study is not done. And that study was done in Medical College, Kolkata. Medical College, probably you know these things. Medical College, that will be only one name, the British India First Medical College, College Street. 1835, 1835 it was established. And Goldstone, who actually did a very remarkable study there in Medical College, 1937. And that Medical College, 1845, first forensic medicine started there, the British period definitely. And still, there is one medical legal coroner's court still exists here at Medical College. So that Goldstone chart is very famous. About 10,000 X-ray he studied, whole bone study, he prepared a very fantastic chart, still it is very relevant. যখন আমরা করি সব এই ডিটারমিনেশন, আজ এত বছর 1937 সাল, আজকে কত, তাহলে কত বছর, 100 বছরের উপর তো হয়ে গেছে, তাই তো, তো প্রায় অলমোস্ট 100, কিন্তু কোনো চেঞ্জ নেই, অলমোস্ট অ্যাকুরেট। We need to study. There are fragmentary study being done everywhere. We are also doing some study here. But still that thing that is very relevant. That is very remarkable study there. 18 days gallstone, famous. Anyway, and sir is ossification of the bone. Okay. So it is the key to age estimation. The process of ossification একটু বলে নি, আবারও পড়তে হবে. Already you know. Again, when I actually went to anatomy departments, very nice departments. Really, they organized it very nicely. So naturally we require some bones. And anatomy, their requirement is different. Our requirement is different. Our requirement is a little, that is dimorphism, sexual. Age, sex, race, so many things actually. In anatomy, only anatomical structure. But here, the details of these things to differentiate identification. That means which the race কি, age কি, sex কি, এগুলো আমাদের bones থেকে study করে করতে হবে. So naturally these things we found some bones because they have not acquired bones. So naturally we will actually start it a little late, but actually anatomy some bones available. We'll start these things actually few classes after this. We start all these things class. এটা জানি. এটুকু জানো epiphysis diabetes. What is metaphysis? Metaphysis is the actually growing end. It is the epiphyseal end of diaphysis. Ultimately, when ossification completes its diaphysis, there is no metaphysis. So at the complete ossification, the metaphysis is completely detached. The epiphysis fuses with the bone to become one. So that is the things. This is the things, metaphysis. This metaphysis is actually the part of diaphysis going in. So that is so long, the age not complete, the metaphysis exists. After that, it's gone. দেখো এই যে epiphysis, আমি বলেছিলাম 300টা থেকে 206টা হয়ে গেল, তাই না? তাহলে এই বনেরই দেখো কি হয়, epiphysis, diaphysis. তাহলে 1 epiphysis, 2 epiphysis, 1 diaphysis. তাহলে 1, 2, 3টে তো এখানেই আছে. When 3 becomes 1, naturally you see how many is the 2 bones actually disappear. So how that disappears with the ossification, that is called calcification. So the bones also, this biological process is very very important. You must remember, because otherwise you cannot do it. যখন আমরা দেখব বোনসটা, তোমরা যদি দেখো না, when you examine bone is anatomy, that is all fused almost, because actually most of the cases these are donated bones, and the natural death, the body donated to the evolve for the study. So naturally they are all eject. You will never see all these things. So here, otherwise these things you see epiphysis, so greater trochanter, lesser trochanter, the head of the things, and all these are epiphysis, and they are actually joined by cartilage, the blue marks, epiphyseal cartilage. তাহলে এগুলো যখন থাকবে না, when it completes becomes one, তাহলে all the blue lines gone. So ossification appearance, all the diaphysis develops from the primary ossification centers. What actually appears in the intrauterine age, in the womb. But the secondary centers of the ossification appears after birth. All these centers of ossification appears after birth, and that information is important. Bone ossification or osteogenesis is the process of bone formation. Already দেখে নেবে এটা কি করতে হবে. In that cases, this process begins between the 6th and 7th weeks of embryonic development. I do not know how much you learn, but it is important, because here they will judge application of your medical knowledge. ওখানে কোনো মার্সি নেই, কারণ ব্যাপার যে in the courtroom, when they will ask, you will have to say, because they are the lawyers. If you cannot answer, they will teach like anything. They actually, I do not know actually how many things. They don't think that actually, no, I will not do this thing, I will do this thing, I will do these things, I will become the cardiologist. Whatever you do these things, as a doctor, MBBS, you will have duty to perform, because you will have the duty to the country. তো যখন তখন তোমাকে ডাকতেই পারে যে কোনো কেসে, ইউ রাইট এ প্রেসক্রিপশন, এই প্রেসক্রিপশনটা কার সেটা নিয়ে যেতে পারে। Everybody, you are allowed. That is called medical jurisprudence. Medical jurisprudence. Diaphysis is the portions between the two epiphyses. Epiphysis কি দেখতে হবে ঠিক এক্স্যাক্টলি এভাবেই কিন্তু এটা ডেভেলপ করে কি করে এটা এপিফিশিয়াল কার্টিলেজ proliferates and ossifies at the diaphysis and metaphysis এটা বললাম growing end of the diaphysis the metaphysis. That means cartilage gradually gets all calcified and becomes single and all that it is fusion or union and no further growth. So finally যখন হবে আর তার কোনো গ্রোথ নেই that is adult. That is adult. So after complete fusions is very difficult to assess it because after that you cannot find any biological development to say how much actually the development has progressed because that is the mature stage and rarely very few things that is gradually you learn and that by pushing after 25 there is nothing to say that actually age of these things. So after that it is very gross. So bones ossifies from centers of ossification, primary center, secondary center. বলেছি diaphysis গুলো সব primary center, epiphysis গুলো সব secondary center. So naturally in that cases primary centers appears differently. So naturally অন্য জিনিস এইটা জেনে রাখো বোধহয় জানো যারা পড়েছো actually I cannot say these things everybody learn who actually studied and learned they only can say these things. The ossification, how it actually progresses. The interesting thing is ossification center which appears first that unites last. That is the things. And ossification centers, you see, almost all of secondary centers ossification appears after birth excepting one. Or sometimes they call it. That is the lower end of the female. It develops at 9 months or just at birth. And that lower end of the femur unites last. And then the things, probably you know these things, the blood supply of the bone, nutrient artery. No, this thing. To the elbow I go, from the knee I flee. And that is also the fusion. That means fusion occurs like to the elbow I go, nutrient artery, opposite directions fusion occurs. So this is something you must remember. To the elbow I go, elbow দিকে যাচ্ছে blood supply. তাহলে ফিউশনটা হচ্ছে কোথায়? Opposite to the elbow. And from the knee I flee. That means তাহলে কোন দিকে হচ্ছে সেটা ফিউশনটা এক্স্যাক্টলি যেদিকে যাচ্ছে তার অপোজিট সাইডে নিটা লাস্ট ফিউশন হবে। So these things is very important. This actually the unless you remember these things, very simple things in anatomy, you faltered in particularly giving the opinion. Dekho some A of the ossification again I truncated it. It is prepared for the judiciary. So I am telling you these things so that you know actually how much the judiciary has learned. How I actually taught them, because they will ask the question. Age of appearance of the centers of ossifications are fairly constant and uniform and not much influenced by nutritional or hormonal factors. আবার বলছি একটা আছে appearance আর একটা আছে fusion. Fusion is a process. Once fusion starts, it takes 1 to 2 years to complete the fusion. The appearance is appearance. সেই অ্যাপিয়ারেন্সের কিন্তু টাইমটা বেশ ফিক্সড, ফিউশনের কিন্তু টাইমটা চেঞ্জ হয়, অ্যাপিয়ারেন্সটা কিন্তু অতটা হয় না। সেই জন্য আমরা উই কনসিডার অ্যাপিয়ারেন্স, এজ অফ অ্যাপিয়ারেন্স ইজ ভেরি ইম্পর্টেন্ট। তো মাল্টিপল স্পট বন্ডস ফিউজেস টুগেদার বিকজ ইট ইজ দ্য ভেরি ইউজফুল দিস থিং, আলটিমেটলি ইট ইজ ফিউজড। তাহলে কি হয়, এই জায়গায় যখন এক্সরে যখন তোমাদের দেখাবো এক্সরে তখনও কিন্তু একই জিনিস দেখতে থাকবে। Gender variation. Female bone fuses earlier than men, except our mone rakhbe, not that all, but interested students I am telling you. Female fuses earlier. তাহলে এটা দরকার আর 1 to 2 years, কারণ it's not possible to remember so many centers when appearance and fusion. But only thing is female, if I consider female, excepting এই জায়গায় মনে রাখবে excepting Beziaxiput, Bezisphenoid or skull fuses earlier in man than women. এটা মনে রাখবে, যেমন সব বডি কিন্তু ফিমেলে ফিউজ করছে, কিন্তু স্কাল বোন মেলে ফিউজ করছে। ক্লাভিকলের বেশি কিছু নেই, মোস্ট মেমব্রেনে শুধু এই পোর্শনসের ক্লাভিকলটা ইজ ভেরি ইম্পর্টেন্ট। ওই যে বলেছিলাম 17-18 সব শেষ, এইটা কিন্তু 20-22 মেল ফিমেল ডিফারেন্ট। দ্যাট ইজ দ্য মিডিয়াল এন্ড অফ দ্য ক্লাভিকল, ইম্পর্টেন্ট, ভেরি ইম্পর্টেন্ট মেডিকল লিগালি, very important medical legal. Another is sternum. I had extensive research on this sternum ossification. Yes, published. I will tell you. Because once you learn this in the book, they mention, and all books, same things. They are narrating the same things, repeating the same thing. The manubrium sternum fuses with the sternum at the age of the 40 years, 60 years. And the Jejivisternum fuses with the manubrium 40 years. But those are wrong. Because Western books and British books and other books, whatever they said, we are actually copying those things. We never tested those things. So naturally these things actually show I did the research on these things, whether that is true or not. Yes. Again, skull. আবারও বলেছি স্কাল এইরকমই এতগুলো থাকে, এগুলো জানবে নিশ্চয়ই। হাউ মেনি সুইচার্স, সুইচার্সের নাম জানো? স্কালের সুইচার্স কি কি সুইচার্স আছে? sagittal, coronal, lambda। তারপরে একটা সুইচার ছিল থাকে মেটোপিক সুইচার্স, that disappears again, that disappears in 2 to 6 years, and that is between frontal bone। কখনোই তোমরা স্কালে কিন্তু দেখেছো? have you ever seen the skull bone in frontal bone আর 2? সবসময় ফ্রন্টাল বোন একটাই দেখেছি, but actually at birth it was two. So nice, that is called the metopic suture, that fuses early, gradually fuses gradually। এইটা এক্সট্রাটা তোমাদের কিন্তু প্র্যাকটিক্যাল ক্লাসে খুব এক্সটেন্সিভ করতে হবে, and that is most important. We do study X-ray here for determinations of the age, because here you see these things, প্রত্যেকটা এই একটা পর phalanges, metacarpal, appearance of the carpals, all different age, very important, particularly in sports age। এই অ্যাডাল্ট হয়েছে কি হয়নি সেটা জানার জন্য কিন্তু আমাদের কিন্তু এই হাফটাই কিন্তু থাকবে। ডিফারেন্ট এজে ডিফারেন্ট টাইপস হবে, এটা তোমাদের প্র্যাকটিক্যাল ক্লাসে স্কাল এক্স-রে, স্কেলেটল এক্স-রে, দ্যাট ইউ মাস্ট লার্ন, বিকজ দ্যাট ইজ প্র্যাকটিক্যাল এক্সপেরিয়েন্স। এই যে 12 বছরের কিরকম এক্স-রে হবে, 14 ইয়ার্স, এটা থেকেই আমরা এজ বলি। 18 ইয়ার্সে কিরকম এক্স-রে হবে, তো ন্যাচারালি জিনিসটা দেখছি 5 ইয়ার্স থেকে। তো 5 ইয়ার্সে দেখো কার্পাল বোন নেই, কয়েকটা আছে, জেনারেলি 5 বছরে 5টা আমরা ধরে নিই। অ্যাকচুয়ালি কার্পাল বোন কটা? 8টা, তাই তো? এটা জানো কি কটা কার্পালস আছে? হ্যাঁ, lateral medial, very simple anatomical information that will be utilized here in forensic medicine, that will be utilized in forensic medicine, that information. All carpal bones do not appear in just a same year, gradually it appears. So that is important. So this information, anatomical information, you will have to apply here and diagnose all these things. দেখো এই 5 বছর 8 বছর এটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি দিস থিংস অ্যাকচুয়ালি এটা করতে হবে, এটা গ্র্যাজুয়ালি প্র্যাকটিক্যালি কিন্তু এটা জানতেই হবে। We are, it's not a new medical college, not many collection there, but still we are trying to acquire it. এটা কিসের এক্সরে? কিসের এক্সরে? দেখো অ্যাসিটাবুলামের মাঝখানে গ্যাপ, ফিমারের এখানে গ্যাপ, তাই তো নাকি? হেড অফ দ্য থিং, and this is the floor of the acetabulum, Y cartilage. Y cartilage শুনেছো? Y cartilage, floor of the acetabulum। কেন থাকে Y cartilage? What is the utility of Y cartilage? শোনো, আমি ডাক্তারি পড়ছি, তাতে একটা ইউজফুলনেস থাকবে, ইউটিলিটি রাখবে। আমি পড়ে সার্টিফিকেটস এখন কিনতে পাবো, ইটস নট ইম্পর্টেন্ট। All certificates, MS, MD, DM, everything can be purchased with the money. You need not have to learn, so just you get admitted and just get the certificate. That is not a problem. So here thing is these things, once you will be feel really actually in the service, then you have to exercise your knowledge. Then you have to exercise your knowledge. You can flaunt your certificate, but when you actually, in actual practice, you need to practice and give the service. Here it is important. All these things again, from there, when it appears, when actually disappears, that means fusion, that is very, very important, this pelvis. Hands and pelvis, X-ray for the determination, and so also on the bone examination is very, very important. Because from here we can determine 17 to 18 years of the age. That is most important in law also. So all these problems. এই যে বলেছিলাম গলস্টন টেবিল এখন নয় পড়বে, এন্ড গলস্টন টেবিলটাই পড়বে। ফার্স্ট হাইকোর্ট ইন ইন্ডিয়া, ফার্স্ট মেডিকেল কলেজ, ফার্স্ট ইউনিভার্সিটি ইন ইন্ডিয়া, ফার্স্ট ইউনিভার্সিটি the Calcutta University, first medical college is the medical college, first high court is the Calcutta High Court. So thing is this, they Calcutta High Court 1937 they accepted the gallstone chart, actually the medical legal institute. There is no medical things, neither there is no forensic medicine department nor anything. So it is very important gallstone chart for Bengali population. He studied it. Gallstone স্পেলিংটা মনে রাখো, গলস্টোন, গলস্টোন মানে গলস্টোন নয়, হ্যাঁ উত্তরারি স্টোন নয়, ম্যাক্সিমাম গলস্টোন। গলস্টোন স্টাডিড ইট দ্য বেঙ্গলি পপুলেশন, একজনের যে গলস্টোন ইন বেঙ্গলি পপুলেশন 1937। সো এই জায়গাটা সবটা সব যতগুলো ছিল সবগুলোরই কিন্তু করা। তো সেটাকে একটু যদি বলা যায়, এগুলো আমি আর বেশি করছি না, কারণ এরকমই সব যেগুলো আছে অসিফিকেশন চেঞ্জার্স, বিভিন্ন ধরনের এলবো জয়েন্ট, ভেরি মোস্ট ইম্পর্টেন্ট। আমরা ম্যাক্সিমাম তোমাদের বলে দিচ্ছি, আমরা স্টাডি করবো, বেশি করবো না। এলবো জয়েন্ট করবো, হাফ রিস্ট করবো, রিস্ট করবো, আর করবো হিপ জয়েন্ট এন্ড পেলভিস, এই কটা আমরা করবো। তারপর বেশি যে স্টাডি করি স্টার্নাম এন্ড ক্লাভিকল, যেগুলো আমরা দেখালাম, এগুলো টোটাল ডিটেল স্টাডি আমরা করবো না। প্র্যাকটিক্যালি অ্যাট লিস্ট ফিউ পয়েন্টস ইউ হ্যাভ টু লার্ন ফর অল প্র্যাকটিক্যাল পারপাস। গলস্টোনস এখানে আছে, এই কার্পাল বোনস কত কবে সিম্পল আমরা বলে দিই কখন। এই যে কার্পাল বোনস 5 বছরে এটা হয় আর এততে করে, তাহলে 5 বছরে এগুলো অ্যাপিয়ার করবে। সাধারণত বলি 5 ইয়ার্স মানে 5টা কার্পাল বোনস 5 ইয়ার্স 6 ইয়ার্স, এটা এইভাবে আমরা ক্রস বলে দিই। ইটস নট দ্যাট ইজি, ইউ মাস্ট কনসিডার। পিক্টোরিয়া, পিক্টোরিয়া খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট। এটা ইম্পর্টেন্ট এই জন্যই অ্যাট এ গ্ল্যান্স কোনটা কখন অ্যাপিয়ার করে, কারণ যখন এক্সরে স্টাডি করবে চার্ট হয়তো করবে না, বাট ইফ ইউ গেট অল দিস থিংস ইউ ক্যান ইজিলি নো। After 25 years, again it's very, very difficult. After 25 years, nothing is available, no dramatic event occurs like dentitions or ossifications appearance disappearance. So it is not possible. Biological age determination after 25 years, but still they think, particularly we do sternums for retirement age. Here I showed these things. Yes, I told these things. Then another is skull, gross age, is very, very gross. আমি তোমাদের এটা রিপোর্টটা এখন দেখাবো না, how we give the report and opinion, কারণ এটা তো আমাদের দিতেই হবে। এগুলো রিপোর্ট আছে, টোন আসবে, সবসময় আসবে, তার রিপোর্টের ফর্ম আছে। তো লিমিটেশনস অফ দ্য অসিফিকেশনস টেস্ট, এগুলো কিন্তু জানতে হবে কি কি লিমিটেশন। দিস লিমিটেশনস অসিফিকেশনস আছে, ডেন্টিশনসের জন্য আছে, অসিফিকেশন টেস্টেরও আছে। কেস রিপোর্ট বলবো না, কি নোটস অলওয়েজ রিমেম্বার। এটা জুডিশিয়ারিকে সেন্সিটাইজ করা খুব দরকার, কারণ ডাক্তারদের খুব হ্যারাস হতে হয় কোর্টে। সেটা ডাক্তারদেরই ফল্ট সেটা, বিকজ দে ডু নট লার্ন ইট প্রপারলি। ন্যাচারালি কোর্টে গিয়ে তারা কিন্তু উল্টো পাল্টা কথা বলতে থাকে, এবং সেখানে কিন্তু তারা ওখানে ভীষণ সব বিকাম এ লাফিং স্টক। আমি বলবো ইভেন দ্য সিম্পল লয়ার অলসো খুব আজে বাজে কমেন্ট পাস করে, খুব আজে বাজে কমেন্ট পাস করে। তো ন্যাচারালি আমরা ওদেরকে সেন্সিটাইজ করছি, যার জন্য কিন্তু তাদেরকে বলে দিচ্ছি একটা কথা, যে ভেরিয়েশনস হতে পারে। ইন বায়োলজি স্টেবিলিটি ইজ দ্য exceptions. Variation is everywhere. দুটো মানুষ একই রকম হবে না, দুটো মানুষের কিছু না কিছু ভেরিয়েশন। উই গিভ ইন দ্য রেঞ্জেস 12 থেকে 16, কোন কথাটা আছে 11 থেকে 12 সব সময় চেঞ্জ হবে, স্টিল देयर इज ভেরিয়েশন। সো ন্যাচারালি ভেরিয়েশন হতেই পারে। টেক হোম মেসেজ, as I told to the judges, I am telling to you, this is the take home message. Always you remember, this is the things almost always remember. Anyway, thank you.